Great day. Great day, great day, great day. It is Thursday, y'all. What's the 411? I am Marrian, sister of full of exponential existence, and this is our Thursday thought. This is the space for inspiration, motivation, for inspired action takers. That's what we're doing here on the Thursday night thought. Of course, exponential existence is dedicated to providing individuals with support as they transform, realign, rethink, restructure their thoughts, beliefs, and practices in such a way that they can have success holistically on all levels of their lives. Tonight's conversation is the Thursday thought. So go ahead, tell a friend, bring a friend. We need you to go out and tell 5 people, y'all, 5 people that we are here on tonight, because tonight is the night that we get a chance to have the best conversations so that we can live our lives on the highest levels that we are designed and destined to do. One of the conversations I want to have tonight before we get started is I just need you to do one thing for me. Tell me what city and state you are listening at. What city and state are you listening from? Why do I want to know? We know we have SARS-CoV going on, but guess what? We will not always have it. And even if we do, we're going to begin to be more cautious and do things a little differently so we can still come back together. So tell me that city and state so I can know where I need to be looking at when I have support and guidance on that opportunity. And once you do that, I want you to remember we're here for one reason only. We're here for one reason and one reason only. And that is for us to begin to focus, focus, focus. Why do we want to focus, focus, focus? We want to focus on what we're doing with our thoughts. We want to focus on what we're hearing with our ears. We want to focus on what we're doing with our time so that we can maximize our lives in order to have an exponential existence. Whenever you want to do something really well, what do? You focus. So focus is an essential component of everything we need to get done. Absolutely. Everything we need to get done. Everything. That's what I said requires you to focus. So go ahead and type in the room if you're coming in. I focus, I focus, I focus. Because in this next 30 minutes, I want to use your focus to be able to revamp, rev up, increase, maximize all the great brilliance, all the time, all the energy, all the knowings that you have in such a way that you are moved into action, because you are an inspired action taker. Once you get motivated, once you get empowered, once you're inspired, you're ready to take action. That's why you're here tonight, here on the Thursday Night Thought. The other thing I want you to think about is that you are the best thing growing. I know right now it can seem like so much is just being caught up and we're being held back and we're being limited and we're being told we can't do, we got to think differently. We heard that word pivot forever and forever. And I'm going to tell you that beyond the pivot is expansion. Beyond the pivot is more movement and expansion, and you can still do it. It just means we have to get better and understand that we're still growing. Just like a seed, when you plant in the ground, it takes a moment to be able to turn into a seedling. And then it takes a moment to go from a seedling to a plant that's producing blooms, that's blossoming, and then becomes a full fruit or vegetable or flower that we want to see, that we all planted it for in the first place. It was well worth the wait. And that's how your life is. You implementing and rediscovering your purpose, your power, your positions, you understanding all about who you are and what your triggers are, and learning how to make them not be triggers anymore, but also become part of the stepping stones that get you closer and closer to where you want to be in the highest parts of your greatness. Absolutely, positively, so it is. And tonight we're going to be talking about that. As I said in the title is purposely designed because I want you to start thinking in that harmony is not linear. Linear meaning a straight line. Most of us think that harmony means because we're all walking together that we're in harmony. Sometimes you can be walking together but not have harmony. Harmony is a state of existence by which we're all existing simultaneously with all of our greatness, and it's moving together in the oneness. Absolutely, positively, so it is. So welcome again to all of you that are joining me here for the Thursday Night Thought. I am beyond ecstatic, rolling down the bottom. If you are not a part of our family or part of our community, you want to go ahead and you want to go over to exponentialexistence.com and you want to sign up to become part of our community and family so you can get all the notifications. Wherever you're watching me, like, share, follow. That's the key. I can imagine that many of us are finding ourselves, we feel like we're not growing, right? I don't know about you, but sometimes it feels like I'm not growing. It feels like I'm not doing enough. It seems like I'm not being seen or heard enough. But tonight I want to talk about that's about the harmony that's placed. Don't get disrupted by that. You're still growing. You're still expanding. You're still knowledgeable. You still are expanding your skills and connecting and building relationships. Now is the time for us to hunker down and get busy. And tonight, I want to talk about the harmony that is found when we move from thinking literally to thinking holistically and talking about the field of energies that we exist in. Absolutely, positively. I'm going to talk about that because that's one of the things we do here at Exponential Existence to support you in realigning, rethinking your thoughts, behaviors, and beliefs in such a way that you can have holistic prosperity. Now, what does that really mean at the end of the day? It just means that you have financial assurances. You're more confident, you're more aware, and you put things into place in a harmonic exchange that allow you to have financial assurance. You know that they're going to be there. You don't have to panic about it. You don't have to think in the scarcity mindset anymore. You don't have to think about lack anymore. You're focused on abundance, prosperity, and being fruitful and developing ways to be creative and build and allow those things to come to you that are already waiting for you in the universe. So I don't want to get ahead of myself because I know sometimes when I talk, I forget that my family members are on different levels. And so I have to make sure that I go back and I catch all of you because I don't want anyone to be left behind. I want you to have the opportunity to understand that, yes, I am your sister. I am your sister. I am somebody you can confide in. I'm someone that's here to share with you a little bit that I found up the road, maybe a little further, or maybe one step ahead of where you are right now, to share that with you. And that's what I want to do tonight with the ideal of harmony. Harmony is different than balance. I'm a vocalist. So I grew up singing in choirs. I grew up, having musical instruments around me. And when they're in a harmonic flow, it sounds beautiful. Every instrument is playing a note, a different note that is complementary to the notes that are already being played. I don't know if you remember singing the song, even just popped in my head, row, row, row your boat. You could do it in different sections and different people start at different times. And sometimes if you're singing in a choir, you have the sopranos, the altos, the tenors, and the basses, and the variations of those different voice levels, right? All of that is a part of harmony. When you hear a four-part harmony, there's something that resonates inside of you that makes you go, wow, that sounds really good. That's why quartets were so important in our societies and growing up, or when we have this synchronicity of sounds where everything is happening simultaneously, just like it does in nature. And we don't get disturbed by the birds singing while the wind is blowing, while the creek and the water is flowing. We don't get disturbed by the trees rustling at the same time the grass is crunching or the leaves are crunching. That is a harmonic exchange. In science, we talk about something called a symbiotic relationship. That's when there's an organism that inhabits another organism, but it doesn't cause harm. And but yet together they can survive. It doesn't cause, neither one of them are harming the other. They're just coexisting and allowing themselves to uniquely be present, equally be present. And yet there's an exchange that is going on that is keeping them both alive and thriving. And then they carry on. That's what our life is really like. Our life is really designed to be harmonic. At somewhere along the way, we got this concept about balance. And if you think about a balance is a scale. I mean, you're trying to teeter back and forth, you're teetering back and forth, and you're trying to figure out how to get it exactly right. And you're always, kind of wobbling and doing it versus when you strive for a harmonic exchange of your life structures. And I believe there are six life structures. And those six life structures are your spirituality, it is your mental, emotional wellness, your physical wellness and health, your finances, your career, your business, and it's your relationships. If all six of those things are singing their part, being in a harmonic exchange, you find yourself not trying to tilter and figure out if you have balance, but more about just kind of doing a dance, or it's going to allow you to sit still in your chair and rest as they are all in this harmonic seat that allows us to expand and grow. So harmony is not linear. Harmony is not just one straight line. Harmony is a flow and exchange of energy, of conscious thoughts, of behaviors. It is the progression. Let me get this to you. So this is something I want to share with y'all, right? It is the progression, right? It is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal, meaning that you understand that something is so important that it has to be in movement, because that's what our harmonic flow is about. It's a flow, it's constantly in movement, it's constantly having action, there's progress, there are things that are occurring. You can see the growth. Remember, we're the best thing growing. Do you remember that? We're the best thing growing. So we're the best thing growing, then there's going to be some movement. There's going to be some change. There's going to be some expansion. There's going to be some conversations that make us feel a little uncomfortable and stretch us in our thought and stretch us in our ability to live. Oh my goodness, that felt so good, right? That's the key right there. The progression that we're talking about is about movement from the state of being static, just doing the same thing, moving along, just trudging along, trudging along, trudging along. Well, we're going, hey, while I'm trudging along in my relationships, I'm trudging along simultaneously in my finances, in my career, in my business. I'm trudging along the same time, harmonically, not in competition. Not having to choose to have a relationship or a business and career, not choosing to have health and wellness or a relationship and career, not choosing to have spirituality, but not a relationship, not a business, not a career, not finances, not right. Everything is working and moving simultaneously. Can you believe? Just imagine that for a second. And when I see it, when I first got this revelation, I thought about the old school um, mints that used to be red and white. You know, it's white and has like the little red pieces of the peppermint coming down, with peppermint taste coming down. That's how it is. No matter how you spin it, you still see the red and white. You still see the movement. You see the core parts of that. Everywhere there's a red stripe, you saw it. But when you spun it or when you begin to lick it or whatever, it's still there. It's a harmonic exchange. You need both parts to make it work. Both parts, all parts to make it work. But what we've been doing is thinking linearly, and we're saying, I can only focus on my finances. I can only focus on my well being. I can only focus on my emotional, mental status. I can only focus on spirituality, instead of saying my spirituality feeds into what I'll allow to go into my subconscious mind and accept as truth, belief, and honor, or my wellness and emotional health will make sure that I access spirituality at a time when it gives me the greatest level of support, or I'm going to build relationships with people professionally and personally that support my vision, right? All of those things come into play, and it's a harmonic exchange. Yeah. It's like, hey, let's go. And it's not a issue that there's more weight on one side than the other. It is that they are all equally the same, and therefore they're able to have a free exchange, much like we do when we're juggling. If you're with me, still let me know that you're with me and let me know, hey, is this resonating? Give a one. Give a one if this is resonating with you. Because the power that we find within ourselves is so present. The presence is there so much that we forget about it because we're distracted by things on the outside. So we forget we have these life structure, this seat in life that is bringing us into a harmonic exchange, that is based upon the progression and realization of a worthy idea, IDEAL, right? And that is going to bring us to that level. And what do we mean by worthy? It's not about, am I worthy? It's about, is the idea, the concepts, the belief of this harmonic existence, is it worthy? And you know that it is, because when we say something is worthy, we say that it's valuable. We say that it's important. We say that it's a necessity, maybe even, right? A requirement. Worthy. It's something that is pulling us into it and validating who we are and what we desire. So this concept that's in our imagination, this concept that is oozing out of our mind, that is pulling forth this level of elevation and perfection. to get back to the highest parts of who we are, the best parts of who we are, before the pain, before the trauma, before the fear, before the doubt, before the breakup, before the weight gain or the weight loss. These are your terms, not mine, right? Before the bankruptcy, before the loss of job, before the SARS, COVID, before all of that. You had an agenda and you had a purpose, and you were may not have been fully aware, but there was something that was pulling you forward and pulling you upward back into a grounded state that allows you to be the best thing growing, that allows you to have harmony, that allows you to experience life at a grander, more experiential moment. So instead of reacting now, we are now responding. Because when you react, you burn energy and you do misfocus. You're not focused when you're reacting. You're not. So what has to happen is that we have to begin conversations that allow us to harness the truth and the wisdom and the beliefs that benefit us and those that we care about. Most of us are thinking linearly. If this is happening, if this makes sense, let me know. Because when this came to me, I was thinking, I'm saying to myself, like, what is it that's making it so difficult for people? And it says that harmony happens simultaneously in our existence. But we're constantly seeking to do balance, which is either or. So if we have these 6 life structures and we're only focusing on 2 at a time and trying to get them to balance, we never give the due diligence. We never provide the fertilizer. We're not allowing the input, the wisdom, and the experience found in the other life structures to propel us forward. Remember, progression, movement. Y'all with me? Are y'all with me? This is what we're doing. This is how we move into a state of exponential existence, ever expanding. And as I always say, we always know there's whole numbers, there's real numbers, and then there's decimals, integers, monumental integers that we have to cover in our life as well. There are stages of development, and that's the same thing for your life. It's the same thing for your expansion plan. It happens in that aspect. Absolutely. So when you're going into your next moment and you're wondering why you're having challenges and inability to go past that moment, ask yourself, pause for a second and do a reflective pause and ask yourself, are you functioning from a place of or linearly, where you're thinking linearly and you're trying to find balance instead of looking at it in a capacity that allows you to grow and expand, to have that harmonic exchange between all those 6 life structures. Like we said with that singing, when the harmony is happening between the choir members, you hear a melodic, beautiful sound. That's how your life wants to be. And when you're trying to only have a 2-part, when it should be a 4-part, or in this case, a 6-part harmony, and you're trying to have a 2-part harmony by saying, I got to have this or this, and then I got to find the balance between the two, you're negating the power that is found within the mind, within the inner world, that greatly and vastly affects your outer world. Harmonic existence. Harmony is not linear. It's not. It's not a straight line. It is a free exchange between all life structures. Your beliefs, your processes, your behaviors that you display. If you have poor money habits, if your beliefs are negative regarding your financial situation and how you can grow and expand, then you're going to have challenges in building relationships. You're not going to trust people. You're going to feel ashamed about your money. You're not going to want to show out. You're going to feel like you never have money, or you're always nervous about, if you go out with your friends, that your credit card is going to, or your debit card is going to be inept or decline. If you're gonna, maybe you're worried about the way your physical appearance is or your health, and you're accepting these conversations that are telling you that your health is less than optimal, right? When something is ideal, it's perfect. It is the best condition that you can have. So you want to keep yourself in those six life structures to gain harmonic existence. You want to see each of them at the optimal level. Optimal level. And when it for whatever reason it drops down or dips down for a second, what you do is you don't dip down and wallow. You just lean over or get something and you scoop it back up to get it, build it back up. Use the other five to leverage to build it back up. Otherwise, you're going to be back to that ideal of balance. Harmonic exchange, freedom, rewarding and reciprocating relationships, financial assurances, increase awareness and activation of your spirituality. Why do I keep going there? Because if you, whatever your foundation is, that's what's going to propel you forward and closer to your personal success as well as your professional success. These same six life structures, anytime you want to build up your career, you want to make sure that your relationships are proper on your job and in your personal life. You want to make sure you have some type of spiritual awareness, whatever that is for you. You want to incorporate emotional and mental time for you to meditate and visualize and write out and see and think about the position or the quest that you want to accomplish. That's very different. That's very different for what most of us do. Most of us get a plan, we set a goal, and once we set that goal, we get into action, but we're not thinking about how it's going to impact other parts of our lives. That's the key. How do we get it to benefit us and those we care about? Because if we're burnt out emotionally, mentally, and physically, then how do we maintain ourselves? How do we find the balance, the harmony? Right? We're gonna go back to balance, like I just said. We're gonna go back to balance. You're not gonna look for harmony. You're gonna try to put so much emphasis, or you're gonna ignore it. Some of us ignore it. A worthy idea, a thought, a concept, an opinion, or belief that you truly believe to be optimal. And all of us are striving for that. Welcome to all of you. We are striving to exchange into a new level of our personal greatness through this progressive realization of a worthy idea. The ideal, optimal levels of your six life structures. How do we readdress them? How do we define? First, you got to decide for yourself, what does progression look for you? What does that look like for you? What does realization look like for you? What does the concept of worthy mean to you? And what does it mean? This word ideal, IDEAL. What is the ideal circumstance, condition? Because we're not to be affected by that. Because we know very well how to exchange and grow into the higher parts of who we are. It requires us to be able to tune into what we really want. What do you really want? What do you really want to have in your life? What is it that you are desiring to bring forth? Because it's not missing, it's not hidden, it is available for you, but it requires us to change the way we think. Because if it is true in science, that matter can either be destroyed or created, right? It's always in existence. That means the thing we're waiting for is just waiting for us to connect and decide to bring it forward, to make it visible. That's what it's about. I know, right? Who knew? Who knew that what we were waiting for, that mate, that career, that expansion of your business, the creation of your business, more spiritual acuity for yourself, improved optimal health physically, Being able to develop yourself in such a way that you stop allowing yourself to be reacting to the stimulus that comes in your life or reacting to the conditions and agreeing to them, that you begin to create those conditions or create your life structures in such a way that it disembowels this idea that you can't have what you desire, want for yourself, and a legacy of the same. Harmony is not linear. Harmony is a cylindrical flow. It's constantly flowing. Just like the energy fields, the magnetic fields, the energy fields that we live in our life, constantly going, right? Constantly moving and flowing. Only you can stop the flow, which causes you to feel imbalanced, which causes you to feel burnt out, which causes you to feel overwhelmed, causes you. If any of this applies to you, just let me know. Drop a line. Just say it's me. And so by doing so, we can support you in redirecting that energy, discovering that energy, understanding where it comes from. How do you go into your mind? How do you begin to take what your senses are pulling into your conscious mind? How do you begin to fortify your conscious mind in such a way that you choose what thoughts you want to accept? Where's your consciousness? Where's your agreement at? Is it about harmony or is it about balance? Is it a flow? Is it a constant flow? Or is it just a linear straight line? You're just going straight ahead no matter what's happening. We're just not thinking about it. We're going to go straight ahead. I don't want to know about it. I'm going straight ahead. The goal is up front. Doesn't matter that I'm leaking, I'm running low on gas. Doesn't matter that I need to, check the oil. Doesn't matter. Like, we wouldn't do our car like that. So why do our lives like that? Our lives are primal. It's the top thing that you need to access. Your life, not the life that other people have been telling us. We already know that we know this spiel, right? By the time we're 5 to 7 years old, we've already grown into our beliefs that are gonna affect us, how we think, behave, and pursue things. It's already set there. So now we got to spend now we just realize that what in our 30s, maybe late 20s, some people a little later. But once we realize that, what do? Doesn't mean we're wrong because there isn't a right or wrong. There's an infinite number of possibilities by which we make choices. And so this conversation tonight is to remind you that you can make a choice. It doesn't have to be either or. You don't have to teeter on the scale. You just need to be aware that you have this plethora of options that are available to you in each of those life structures. And that when you make a decision that you want to have a harmonic exchange between your life structure so you can take a seat in your life, so you can rest in your growth, in your development, that you can affect and influence other people, that you can bring forth your vision, your purpose. If you know that's what you can do and you start believing it, you will see it manifest in your life. You will see that you will have a more rewarding relationships. You will find that you have more connections in other places beyond the levels that you thought you could. Because you're going to look for other ways to associate and connect. Right? You're just not looking strictly at the person in front of you or the organization out there. You're just not saying, "Oh, well, they do this." It's kind of like when you see a menu. It might be an Italian restaurant. They may also serve French fries. They may also have a salad. They may have something that you were not even expecting, but you have to open the menu, and your life is that menu. There is an abundance of opportunities for you in your life. There is an abundance. It is available to you if you choose to go into your inner world and allow your mind to manifest. Allow your thoughts, your brain to be the house for your thinking. And those thoughts that are produced by the thinking, you can begin to apply them with consistency and daily practice, and you can bring about alternative change and experience harmony in your life. Absolutely, positively. So it is. Remembering that our bodies are going to do whatever our mind tells us. And when it's attached to an emotion, it goes into our subconscious mind. So if you have an experience and you attach an emotion to it, when the next opportunity comes and presents itself, in any of your six life structures is similar to that experience, it tends to shut us down, which is why I'm sharing with you tonight that you want to take a moment and get very clear on what you want in each of those six life structures. Yeah. And visuals work just as good. Yeah. So that you can know what it is you want. So when things come in your environment, conditions, circumstances rise up, you can know that's not your reality, right? Hashtag, that's not my reality. And if it's not your reality, that means you can't form a belief around it to support it. Because where your beliefs are is in a place that is in the future, that is in the future, meaning the next moment. See? Most of y'all went way 10 years from now. No, I'm talking like the next moment, the next day, the next hour. Time is your second greatest asset. You have to use it for your advantage. And I'm looking at my time and I realize that I have overgone my time on tonight for this Thursday thought. Again, I am Marrian, sister full of exponential existence. Tonight we have talked about the harmonious exchange that exists within our life and how simply, in the outline form, how we can begin to create a harmonic exchange between our six life structures. Those six life structures being our spirituality, our emotional mental state, our physical health and wellness, our businesses, careers, our finances, and relationships. If we can find a way through our commitment and through our choice to ensure that we are clear on what it is we want and that we are willing to have progression and that we are willing to have progression, right? With the realization, AKA an awareness. So we're going to have movement with awareness that is valuable and perfect. How about that? How about that? That's where the key is going to come in. Those words being in your mouth, implementing in your life. Because your life is phenomenal. Your life never sucks. When your life sucks, that means you've just forgotten how much you have waiting for you and how great you are and how powerful you are. Absolutely, positively, so it is. So, with that, I will leave you. Again, I want to invite you and encourage you to go over to our website at exponentialexistence.com/connect. That's all we ask of you on Thursday nights is to join and become a part of our community and then look at a couple of things and see how you can become part of our family. Upcoming in October will be our inner healing retreat. We're also going to do in December our Mastering My Exponential Arizona edition. So we're going to be out at a nice resort. We're going to be online, and you will have an opportunity to come and participate. So if you are interested in that, go ahead. The best way to do that is to click that link below. Go to exponentialexistence.com/connect, join our mailing list, become part of our community, and you become a part of all of our events going forward. Remember, harmony is your choice. It is your birthright, just like prosperity, just like wealth, just like love, just like freedom, just like choice, just like optimal level health mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. All of this belongs to you. It is up to you to choose it and allow it to be. Until next time, I am Marrian, sister of four. And remember that when things begin to cloud your way, make you feel like you just can't go on, stop, scream out nice and loud. That's not my reality. And know that it's only a bad dream until you decide to make it true. See you next time.